to Fast Guard News. I'm Dwight Gibson.
I'm Roderick Payne.
And today we want to talk to you about how you as a business can lower your liability. So every business is an accident away, a slip and fall away, something one step away from disaster or ruin or a lawsuit or something bad happening. How, generally speaking, before we dive into different areas of it, generally speaking, how could businesses lower or reduce their liability?
Well, they say numbers don't lie, Jesus don't lie, and film doesn't lie. So if we jumping into the whole business of how security lowers liability has been proven, the numbers prove it. That less incidents happen when you have professional security. That means when you have slip and falls because somebody didn't see something. That means that when you have any incident that occurs on your property, somebody jumps out with a gun and starts shooting in the air, and it causes people to run, they trip, and they hurt themselves, even if nobody gets shot. Like, having a security guard lowers that liability. It's been shown across the board to lower that liability in any aspect of business or anywhere that you could be found liable. Now, it's impossible to completely indemnify yourself. That's the reality. Like, we would have people call us and be like, could you sign this waiver of subrogation? I had to look it up. I was like, what the hell is that? Like, why would you want us to sign that? Or an indemnity clause?
Yeah.
Or like we talked about last time, what is that? Liquidated damages. Why?
Yeah.
But,
Well, basically, we want, if anything happens while you're on our property, we want you to pay for it.
Yeah.
Anything whatsoever.
The first time.
Our property is 100 acres. We only want one guard, but if anything happens, we want you to cover it.
The first time I heard that indemnity clause, when we were called into an office, we had an arm site where we were getting shootouts almost every single weekend. And they came up and said, hey, we want to change the terms of our contractual agreement and add in that you guys are completely indemnifying the business from anything that occurs on property. I said, but what does that mean? Oh, well, that means that this and this and this, which was wrong. And when I actually went and sat down and started looking it up, it was that anything that occurred inside the nightclub, outside the nightclub, in the adjacent streets from the nightclub, we're responsible. Absolutely not. Like, why would we sign unless you're going to give us enough manpower to completely lock a city block down? And, that people don't want to do that because that's going to cost. Yeah, it's going to cost. So.
All right. So I think the key thing you said in that phrase and that answer was professional security, right? So a lot of people hire security. They hire Joe Blow security that doesn't have insurance, and then they say, hey, we're unhappy with our insurance. Can you match the price that I was getting from our previous provider? Okay, well, what were you paying from your previous provider? Oh, they were charging us $18 an hour. What do you say at that point when it comes to lowering liability while putting a professional security guard on the site and taking on some of that indemnification off of the client?
Well, I'm gonna give our clients and customers and people to watch our show $1 million worth of game. It took me like 7 or 8 years to really fully understand this. So when you have insurance, this is from us as a security company. When I went and purchased insurance, I thought that as a business owner that meant that anything that occurs while we're providing us professional service, we're covered for. And then we had our first shooting, and I learned that that's not what it is. And I learned that then it becomes a bidding war. So if your face value was $1 million, man, we got $250,000 max. And you're like, well, hold on, I've been paying for the past 5 or 6 years for this coverage. They're suing for this amount. Why not let them have it? No, we're going to go to court. What happens if you lose? If we lose, then they're going to try to push the corporate veil, and they're going to come after you as an individual. Okay, so can an insurance company completely cover us for everything that it is? No. What do all these exclusions mean? Oh, well, they mean you're not covered for this. That's exactly what we got the insurance for.
Right.
And so, I think company owners know that. Like if you talk about a multifamily or apartment building, think of all the things that could occur in there and people living there. There could be somebody mixing up bombs on one of the floor and it blows up and it hurts multiple people. It messes with the building. Like when you look at that much liability for even things like slip and fall, we were involved in a lawsuit. This one I had a security job, but we were at a location. Somebody came in the lobby and they busted their ass. Simple as that.
Was the floor wet?
Yeah, the floor. No, it was somebody who was walking through, spilled the drink, and they did like a Charlie Brown, like almost 2 flips, and pow. And it was embarrassing. And I think immediately a light bulb, I seen it from where I was standing at, a light bulb brightened up the entire room because they said, I'm about to sue the shit. I seen it, they hit the ground and went like this. No sleeping with wet signs? Ow! You know what I'm saying? So like you see that and then you realize that people are out there to go get you, and they came back and sued the security that was there that day. And I'm like, why would the security be sued for a slip and fall?
Because he should have been patrolling, and if he should have seen that it was wet, he should have put the sign out.
That part.
Or cleaned it up and then put the sign out.
And they had to pay. Whatever the settlement was, they got settled with an undisclosed amount. So it just goes to show you that, A, security companies having the correct amount of coverage. Like a lot of guys will come to us even as subcontractors and submit bogus forms. So like a lot of companies have figured their way around a lot of that stuff. They use third-party companies that verify the information. Totally fine. But a lot of companies just take it for face value, and it is what it is. The issue with that is that people are going to slip and finagle fake insurance or improper insurance. And now once they're on site, the ball's in your court. You signed this, you didn't do your due diligence. So that's a little bit of, I guess, knowledge for security guard companies and security people looking to hire security guards to try to protect them or shield them from some type of liability when they're on site.
So as a property management company, some property management companies engage security companies directly. Some of them engage as a reaction to an HOA that they represent that wants to hire security, and it's ultimately the HOA's decision to hire security. What ways does professional security lower liability for property managers?
Well, you have to think they act as access control because they can provide they could block people, unauthorized individuals, from getting on property. That's got a value within itself. Like, we're us as the property management company, we put a security guard right there at the front. It's one way in, one way out. Nobody can enter this building without passing by the security guard. We did that. That's how we lower liability. From the standpoint of actual the security guard is, the security guard could definitely lower that liability if they do their job. If they're doing being diligent, if they're doing everything thoroughly, 1,000%. On top of the access control, something happens. Somebody falls down, breaks their arm, slip and fall, falls down the stairs. They can act almost as a first responder because they're there. They're able to assess the situation. Basic CPR if somebody passes out or stops breathing. So you got a first responder on site. So you got two things, the access control and a first responder right there on site 24 hours a day and always ready to respond to just that. In other situations, they come through and assist in a multitude of ways. But those first two, as far as property management, because people, and I bring it up all the time, I have no hate against the automated gates. I think your gate is automated. They don't have a security guard there, but they got a security guard on the inside. As soon as you come in, you see them riding, they're visible. You got to have both. So a lot of times I come over there and the gate's down. Something happened, somebody hit the gate, whatever could happen. It just, you got to think of, I'm not going to be there as the property management company. You're not going to be there 24 hours a day. And most property management companies don't even work at the office on the weekends. So you got to have a representative there to kind of protect you from some of that stuff. and be your eyes and ears. You know, God forbid a property manager has to get woken up, and that's their job. Like a superintendent back in the day in the buildings, like in New York, they're there to respond to any and everything that could happen, block toilets and all of this. Yeah. But certain things, you know, you may not want to be woken up about.
Yeah, we had a case this weekend where we were hired a property management company. We won't reveal the name of the company, but it was a site where there was a vacant building in a plaza, and somehow the property manager heard that teenagers were gathering in their parking lot, having like a meetup and drag racing and having parties. Mm-hmm. And he hired us to be an extra set of eyes and ears and to try to prevent the gathering, or if the gathering took place, to break it up. Mm-hmm. So when we got there, it was all calm. It was clear. It was a regular day in the neighborhood. And then about 8:00 p.m., just like cars just start showing up in droves, mm-hmm. right? So we contacted the client, contacted the police, and within minutes had it all cleared out. You know, crisis averted. But imagine what could have happened had the security guard abandoned his post and said, "This is too much." If he didn't do his job, and they start drag racing, and someone loses control and crashes into another vehicle, crashes into the building, something catches on fire, anything could have went left. But luckily it didn't. Security was on site. Police were called. Like I said, crisis averted. So that's a case of a real case of lowering liability, eliminating an issue that could have and possibly would have happened.
Correct.
For a property management.
And let's
company.
fast forward to 2025. What almost always happens with large groups of people, especially young people these days?
A fight or gunfire.
Gunfire, right? Forget the cars crashing in the building. Somebody gets shot out there.
Mm-hmm.
It is your fiduciary responsibility to provide a safe environment for patrons, right? Mm-hmm. These aren't patrons. They're coming illegally. Well, you should have known that as the property manager, and you should have did something to try to mitigate that, mm-hmm. like hire a security guard. Oh, you didn't? Okay, now it's your fault. Right. You should have had, X, Y, and Z. You got cameras out here. You've known there's been complaints. There's been other incidents that happened. The police have been called this many times. You knew that this was a problem.
Right.
We're going to sue you now. So, in that scenario, 1,000% a security guard basically prevented what could have been a nightmare. Yeah. One lawsuit. Everybody's one lawsuit away from being out of business. Mm-hmm. Only, very few that can take a licking and keep on ticking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about construction companies? In what ways can hiring security lower liability for construction companies? Because a lot of construction companies don't hire security. Some do. A lot of them don't.
I'm sorry, I just had to answer that real quick. Construction companies, the way and major construction companies, major construction sites need to be controlled, I think, 24 hours a day. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you go on, like I've been on sites with you, we had to put on hard hats, we got to wear the high vis, but like sometimes they have a safety officer out there. A lot of times this is a security guard making sure that everybody's in compliance. Mm-hmm. At a few facilities, we had manufacturing facilities, there was somebody that was their entire job is to make sure that everybody that enters the location has safety glasses on and has high-vis clothing on mm-hmm. to make sure they're protected because things happen. So keeping unauthorized individuals out, construction site, that's like the main thing. Mm-hmm. You don't want people there in the daytime while you're working. Something falls and hits somebody, hurt somebody, you're liable. You don't want people there at night when you're not working because something could fall and hit somebody and you get hurt.
Or
and
some
it's all on you.
Expensive equipment or walk away or materials or walk away from the job site.
Correct. Like people don't steal air conditioning units or those generators until they're left unoccupied. Mm-hmm. They don't steal windows that they don't even have the measurements for. They'll steal anything that's not tied down, and that's just the reality. So why invest and have to invest twice and then depend hopefully that the insurance will cover it, because what insurance is going to say? Did you have cameras? Did you have a security guard there controlling the site?
Or did you have adequate security?
Correct.
And then what about buildings or hotels or anywhere that has a fire alarm if the system goes offline? And some companies are proactive and they engage a security company for fire watch service. Some companies are put under orders by the fire marshal. In what way is a security company lower liability for
answer that,
fire watch?
Fire watch is probably by far, I would put it at number one, is probably the most important job a security guard can do. And I put it over armed security, because if you're doing fire watch on an occupied building and the fire alarm's down and the company's doing the right thing by putting fire watch in place, and you whiff or sleep on the job doing that, and a fire happens, potentially everybody could die. So, think of mass casualties. Like, there's a building in Surfside in Miami-Dade County that collapsed in the middle of the night. No warning, collapsed. Multiple people died. They were out there looking for people for weeks at least. And then they had to give it up because nobody's surviving under that. But, think about it, a whole building went kaput, and would having a security guard make a difference? I don't know. Maybe he could have walked around and seen cracks in the wall, and maybe, right? Could
a long shot on that.
Could having a security guard there make the difference in alerting authorities? 1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%. He or she could have been the first call with that situation. In a fire watch, remember that everybody's depending on you to do your job. Everybody's depending on you to be a fire alarm, and if there is said fire, then you're supposed to run around and be audible. A lot of times they ask us to carry air horns. They want you to go on the whole floor. Hey, everybody get out. There's a fire. Evacuate the building, please. They're going to pull the pull station, but what if it's not audible?
Right.
So a lot of malfunctions are different. We get calls all the time. Hey, we're taking the water out the main line today, and it's going to be out for the next week while we repair this and this. We need fire watch. We need them to fill out the form every hour. We say, we'll do you one better. We'll be every 15 minutes. You'll have a report in the law, because we don't allow our guys to sit down. We don't our guys, because what's going to happen overnight? You're going to sit down. You're going to look at your phone, get comfortable. You're going to nod off. Negative. Stay in motion. You're going to get, if you want 10,000 steps, come and work for Fast Guard. If you want to do a bunch of steps during your shift, because we believe in security doing exactly what security is supposed to do. You're not there to sleep. You're not there to be on your phone. You're there to pay attention. So the bottom line is Firewatch is that one warning system, that maybe one and only warning system that you may have that can keep from having mass casualty events. I think this is the most important. I think that anytime you go on Firewatch, and we get it all the time, me and Susan are just going to stay in the office and do it. Are you a licensed security guard from a licensed security guard agency? Have you been trained on Firewatch? It's simple. All the guard does is X, Y, and Z. True, but that's all they do. What are you doing while you're there? Well, I'm going to be in the office doing my job. Exactly. You can't do two jobs at the same time. You could try, but it's not going to be efficient, and that's something that people have to consider when undertaking that duty. Like, you're putting everybody at risk because you're trying to save some money. You want to save the company $5. That's craziness. Right. You have to think.
And then what about, this is a big one, when for business owners or companies or higher up managers where someone is going to be terminated or a whole division may be terminated, employee termination security. How does engaging with a security company lower liability in that case?
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't, right? When the numbers don't come back right, people going to get fired. It just is what it is. Very rarely do you see companies continue on when the numbers don't shake out. So sometimes it results in mass, we got to let people go. People going to get their walking papers, pink slips. Most smart companies, you made a comment last time on the episode that all Android users are geniuses.
This is true.
I think you should get that on the T-shirt. But when you look at it, the companies that actually are proactive and hiring security like that have been through one incident and say, you know what, going forward, when we let somebody go, no matter what the circumstance, mad, sad, whatever, we're going to have security as a protocol, walk them out the building. It just is what it is. We'll pay whatever the premium is for that, because that's going to end up saving us hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of dollars in the long run. Even if a person's not coming with a machine gun like Rambo, they just hit somebody or they slam a door or they get mad and panic and run into the wall head first, hurt themselves. All of these things could be low. You have no way to stop this person. There was a guy that I seen the other day on a video, and he came in and they called the police on. I think he was in a mall with a machete. Okay. And he was swinging the machete around, and nobody could stop this guy. And then one of the police officers came up and got hit with the machete. And I looked at that film, and I was like, how did that happen? That's like when I see people get, like, multiple stab victims. It's like after I hear the first person say, ouch, my head is on the swivel. Hey, whoa. You understand? So it's just everybody operates different. Some people are completely oblivious to what goes on. For those others, they're going to hire employee termination security to act and be proactive with, if this person goes crazy at all, like we just seen the news, God forbid, God bless the dead, a shootout again. Not a shootout, but an active shooter at a school. We hear all the time people get mad and they're going to come do this. Times are hard. There's a lot of stress. If I get fired today, how am I going to pay my bills next week? I'm mad at this person. I want to hurt this person. Just had a guy do armed robbery right down in Florida. He was a ATM technician that went and malfunctioned multiple ATMs around the county where he worked at with a mask on, but in his personal car, so they got his tag number. Comes back, malfunctioned it, waited in the bushes and ran through a hole in the gate through the bushes when the technician came to fix it, stole all of the, I guess they had a refill for it. It was like $150,000. Man, super clean robbery, except he drove his own car to scope the places a couple hours earlier and he got popped. But just think of how brazen that was. He was armed. They had him with the gun. They caught him with the gun in his car.
So the ATM company that sent someone out to repair an ATM with $150,000 cash to put in it didn't have security.
No security guard. No armed guard. You know, nothing's going to happen. Man, this is Florida. So the property prices went up, and the amount of robberies, thefts, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, threats, just anything, shootings have all shot up because there's more money in town. We now have dice at the Hard Rock. We got real dice. It's like Vegas with a beach. It's gonna be a bunch of people that comes to cities like Miami, like South Florida, to come enjoy themselves.
Speaking of Vegas and the beach, when it comes to events and event security, in what ways does having event security lower liability for the promoter or producer or thrower of said event?
Well, there's a couple of ways. When you're dealing with events, there's always going to be an accident. Sporting events, you could think about how many people get sauced up and fall down the stairs. I was at an event this weekend, and they had a big thing that said no bottles in, and this was a kids event. And they were like, no bottles, no alcohol, no this, because people literally, it was 105 degrees out there this weekend watching football, and we were out there for like 8 hours. And they were telling people, you know, in the past, we've realized that we don't want people in here getting sauced up. And, you know, we got the police out here. They had heavy coverage. I mean, they had at least 3 officers out there. But guess what? They didn't have at the front doing any type of checks. Enforcing. They didn't have no security. So at an event, like, it's imperative that you have somebody there to kind of enforce the rules. Yeah, the police are out there. They're out there for the parking lot. And guess what? People were parking their cars right up next to the gate. So, it's a show. So, you know that people are going to go crazy. They're going to go wild. Think about the amount of liability and the amount of times that people can be hurt just in, like, a concert. Everybody's dancing. You don't know everybody's health situation. Some people might have asthma. Some people might get wild and crazy and start throwing their drink, and a melee fight start. One person get hit, and it's like a domino effect. Like, all of these things can occur. And an event, we had a security guard one time at an event. and she was doing pat downs. Super good officer, man. She was running through everything, and she went in somebody's pocket. We told them to wear gloves. We gave them gloves, made sure. But again, if you're not there enforcing it, they want to feel. She went through somebody's pocket, touched some type of powder, wiped it off. 5 minutes later, she was on the ground having a seizure. This before anybody knew about fentanyl and all this stuff. We don't know what it is. They came and gave her Narcan and woke her back up. She was having a seizure. We tried to break the smelling salts, everything. Nothing was make her snap out of it. She don't even know what she touched.
Wow.
Think about that. She just went into a seizure, and we can see the powder all over her hands. Like everybody's trying to get her to start breathing. But that can happen. You don't know what's going to happen at an event. You got sick people out there. You have somebody that was at a concert recently that was running through it with a syringe. Multiple people reported being poked by a syringe at a concert. I don't go to concerts for that reason. Yeah. I know, people are also looking at, like, you're talking about active shooters. You remember what happened in Vegas with that guy that one guy that shot 10 guns at the same time and killed multiple people. They were saying that, a lot of people threaten against mass events, yearly events, Super Bowl, this, that. And because they know that with dense crowd like that, like if you pop a M80 in a dense crowd like a Super Bowl, somebody's going to get hurt. And so that's what they want to do. They want to spread fear by taking terror actions. It's terrorism. So these events are targets. These are locations where everybody's going to be. They're all paying attention to one direction, and anything can happen behind their back. So you got people willing to do anything. You want security to be super tight at an event. Think how many people have called us and like, oh, we just need you guys to kind of come and keep an eye out and kind of control the crowd if anybody gets rowdy. How many people are going to be there? Oh, we only need 2 guards. We've done this 100 times. But how many people are going to be there?
4,000.
Like 4,000 or 5,000. No. So, it's understanding. Look what happened, with the other situation when the kids got crushed at the concert. Could it have been prevented? Yeah. It could have been strategically prevented, but there's so much going on. There's security has drones flying over the crowd. There's security on the stage looking back into the crowd. There's undercover security agents in the crowd for people doing anything weird. There's drug dealers in the crowd. There's people trying to sell other things in the crowd. There's, all kind of stuff exists. There's somebody stealing phones. We talked about the debacle with people stealing your phone. And so all of this, it's like a small community. And I think that if you do not have security at an event, then you're looking to go out of business. You're looking to be sued. You're inviting people like, I'm the man of steel. Who else want to come take a swing at me? Because obviously I don't care about being sued. I'm not trying to do the correct thing to protect myself. People get caught up on profit. Oh, man, we off the ticket sales alone, we're going to bring in $2 million. You should be spending 27 to 30% of that on security to protect your millions of dollars because they're going to come take it all plus. Right. That concert that I'm talking about where the people got killed, that lawsuit was the first $1 billion lawsuit on security guards.
Yeah, that's still going on, isn't it?
Still going on. It's going to go on probably the next 8 to 10 years. But people lost their lives, and things changed because of that. Some carriers back completely out of state. So you want to lower that liability. Incidents are going to happen. That's the bottom line. If you think that you're going to do security or you think that you're going to own a property and everything is just going to be hunky-dory all the time, nah, man, the wind blows, hurricanes out there brewing, things happen. This is what you have insurance for. Prepare yourself, do the right thing, do what's necessary, hire a security guard, lower your liability, call us today.
So you can reach us by phone at 844-254-8273 or online at www.fastguardservice.com. Give us a call. We also offer security consultations, and we can point you in the right direction of what service will best suit you and lower your liability. We hope to talk to you soon. Thank you, and have a great day.